Yo, what's going on out there, YouTube? It's SEL0320 representing JVS. Got my lovely wife Alicia here. This is our anniversary. Not our anniversary. This is literally anniversary review. This is the first review we ever did was to Stranger Things season 1. It was. This is the first series review and TV review we ever did together.
Okay.
But anywho, we are back to give you guys a review for season 2. I got this hood
on my head because my hair is in a bonnet because I have a twist out going on. Hashtag natural hair woes. Anyway.
But anywho, we are back again for a review for season 2 of Stranger Things. We finished all 9 episodes. And I guess the first thing we can definitely say together and collectively, this is a really good season. They had everything from the same exact thrills to excitements to comedy. But they took the characters deeper in so many different ways, from characters like Mike, Dustin and Lucas, and then they added new characters in Billy, Bob, and Max.
Billy, Bob, and Max.
That's crazy, right? But all these new characters, they helped define the show even more. I think they complemented the show on so many different levels, and so they all did really great. But let's talk about, I guess, the series in general. What did you think about the second season?
It was really good. I think I really enjoyed it. I was telling him, this season is a little, more scary or scarier than the first.
It's definitely more suspenseful.
But, so it was just it was, certain, it was definitely had a darker tone. Yeah. But it wasn't, freak you out scary. I watched it next to a whole other person, so I guess that's the thing. But it definitely was a little more so there's a lot happening, but.
Yeah, I think one thing that the season 1 did really well is a coming of age story on top of supernatural elements, and they definitely extend that in this one because all the characters are growing up. They're going into their adolescence, their teenage phase, and then specifically Will now being incorporated into this season. Will just keeps going through it, you guys, and
Will.
The actor is such a great actor. I think that honestly, Will could easily get an Emmy nomination because he, at first, he was going back and forth whether or not he was crazy, going in upside down, going in reality, and then he starts to realize it's deeper than that, and then the story moves forward because now you're
Bob.
Oh, Bob.
Oh, Bob. But Bob did.
Justice for Bob. I want a Justice for Bob t-shirt. Legit. I'm not going to spoil it.
No, it should say Superhero Bob. Just like the drawing that Will drew.
You are legit.
Superhero Bob. Somebody put
down a t-shirt, give it to us.
Give it to
legit,
us.
Because
that'll be dope. Superhero Bob all day.
For any of you guys that don't know.
And we finally did get Justice for Bob. Hashtag never forget.
We did. But any of you Samwise Gamgee fans are Rudy. You know what I'm saying? Sean Astin is a really good actor, and I didn't know if Bob was a bad character at first because he gave Will some really bad advice at first, and it kind of
annoying as crap.
He was, but he ended up looking at it again. I see how sweet he really was. Looking back in hindsight, he was just a good man.
He was a good guy, but he was kind of lame. But then at the end, it's okay, two shirts. Bob the Brain, that should be a shirt.
And
Bob the Brain,
Superhero
Bob.
Right.
Put it on a shirt. I'll cop that.
But 11 is back, you guys, and Millie Bobby Brown is such a good actress, and she's coming into her own as a woman because now she gets the revelation that not only now she has this father figure in Hop, which is really good dynamic and chemistry. They did such a good job together, but now she realized her mom was alive, and then she realized that she had a sister. And it's not what you think, but those 2 story arcs alone, by episode 5, the Dig Dug, when she found out what her mom was going through every single day, I got emotional. I personally got emotional. I think you liked the episode with the sister, though.
I really liked the episode with the sister. I think that was such a cool way, I feel to start the series, because the series starts with this chase, and you see the girl with the 8. So you're just where the heck is this coming from?
And her powers are different now.
So it's just I like the fact that the season started with her, and then that you didn't hear anything about her till all the way to season 7. And I thought that was really, really good. I felt that story was really cool. I like the fact that her powers were different because that made them both cool. And it was interesting, because I was just at first I was watching it like, no, Elle, you ain't got time to find your roots. We need you here.
Exactly.
That's what I was feeling.
That's what I was feeling.
You ain't got time. You be traveling to find your mama and your sister, bless them. But we ain't got time for that right now. We got things to do. And in retrospect, like, though her finding her mom and being able to, you know, communicate with her and then finding her sister, it all comes full circle because it prepares her for the big task that she has to go ahead and handle. So I thought that was really dope. But I really enjoyed 8 and just having that dynamic, because while everyone else like loves Elle and appreciates her, no one else can fully understand her. Yeah. So I'm really, really hoping that 1, there's a season 3, and 2, that 8 is in it. Because I'm like, there is something that 8 can give to 11 that no one else can. Because like what you know is that 8 is older. Yeah. 8 was around, and 8 wasn't like born there. She was like a child that disappeared. So it was just like that. Her layers are a little bit deeper, and her anger is like, she's mad.
She's setting it. She's embracing it.
But I think I like those two together.
No, I could definitely see that, because even 11 even said that, look, I've killed before. Like, it was like kind of like this hit or miss kind of thing. I was like, well, what does she feel about the people that she's killed? What does she feel about like life? And I think they did a really good job with those flashbacks of showing just how her emotional dynamics work. And like Alicia said, that her coming full circle was everything about this. But then you got new characters in Billy and Max. Billy is a sociopathic psychopath. Like, he has problems, and I understand why. The kid that's the Red Power Ranger, he does a good job acting that role as well. Like, I legit was like, he was just like, oh gosh. I mean, well, I say who got on my nerves worst was Mike and Nancy's parents. They are the worst parents ever. Like, they don't know anything is going on. Like, their kids are going through like everything. I mean, even like the first season, like they didn't even care like what they're going through emotionally.
Let's talk about these bad parents and how your kids is gone for days and you don't even care. You don't even check. And I get it. Like, it's one of those things that it's kind of hard, because in 2017 we're like, absolutely not. Like, but yet also, like, I guess to be fair, this season is set 32 years ago, when people don't like, you were very trusting of your neighbors. Like, everyone was like, it's fine. However, this is why I can't give them a complete pass. They they knew what happened a year before. Like, they knew that Barb was missing Barb was dead, and they knew what happened to Will. So it's kind of like,
and the government covered it.
You would think that they would be a little more like careful about their kids, just because they had a little bit more knowledge. Yep. So it's like, that's why on one hand I want to be like, okay, it's the 80s, people felt safe, all these other things. But on the other hand, your kids just lived this traumatic experience. Yeah. And it's like, what are y'all doing? Like, oh my word. Yeah. Oh, and I really like, speaking of parents, I like that this season we got to see the other parents, because before it was like,
who's Lucas's parents? Like, I never.
Lucas, who's Dustin? No one ain't got no parents. Yeah. So to see, and it's like, it's so funny. Like, in my mind, the woman who plays Dustin's mom is exactly how I would expect her to be. Yeah, like, I agree. You know, she was gonna be very happy and loving, and to say, oh, Dustin, because his character is so like I don't even know how to describe his character, but it's like, it made sense for his mom to be like that, and it made sense for Lucas to have an annoying little sister, because he's so like, even with his friends, he's so ready to like push back, like no, but it makes sense because he gets to do that with his sister who bullies him all the time. Yeah.
And then I think for me, the best two parents would be definitely Winona Ryder and Hop. Like, I think, honestly, Hop, to me, because I don't know how I would have balanced being a cop full time and handling Elle.
He didn't balance it very well, which is why they had all those.
I mean, again, though, like, when it comes in hindsight, like, he lost his daughter. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And he went through everything that happened with Will. It's evident he really cares about Winona Ryder's character, like, loves her by it. And then he's having to come within himself to be both of these things. And I think that his sacrifice was well met by the end of it, and he just kind of broke down. It's like, I'm so sorry. And I really empathized with everything that Hop was dealing with. But I thought it was a really good relationship study to just watch them. When they had that breakdown at the house, I was just like, this would have happened in real life if she had powers. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could believe it, you know? And I think that's one of the things about it. Like, they add in the supernatural elements, but it's not unbelievable. It's like if they did have powers or something like this was happening to Will, this is how it would play out. But in general, I thought it was really good.
And I think to his point on, like, being able to make this believable brings that other character, like the investigator, who I don't remember his name.
I don't remember that dude's
like,
name.
He's like this crazy investigator, and it's like when
oh yeah, he's a conspiracy
when Nancy and Jonathan tell him everything that's going on.
Nancy and Jonathan.
When they tell when they tell everything that's going on, and like he makes this analogy like with this vodka and how it's like it's so strong, so he like mixes something with it to make it a little lighter, so that you can actually like you mix it in or you dial it back and you make it lighter. And the way he was able to be like, okay, look, I believe you. However, no one else is gonna believe you.
That's real.
So how do we bring attention to this and make it believable? And coming up with this story like oil spill or chemical spill, people can rock with that. Like that was like genius. And it's like it's like anyone who like is a conspiracy theorist, like that's the thing that you always think that everything is a government cover up for something. Like so it just made sense because you couldn't continue to have all these people die in Hawkins, like in Hawkins in the town in the little science plant, and just make it nothing. You couldn't continue to make them disappear. So to make it be like there was this big chemical plant, and then like I'm like, oh, this makes sense. Like I thought his character, because at first his character was annoying to me, but his character brought that little nugget to the table that made everything else make sense. And we finally got justice for Bob.
We did, and I think that's really all attributed to Nancy. Nancy was dealing with survivor's guilt, and it bled into her relationship with Steve, which I actually cared about Steve this season.
Steve was good this season.
I didn't give a lick about him in the first. I'm like, why are you here, dog? You know. And then he came in. He showed up and showed out. He was a great babysitter. He stuck to his convictions. He dialed it back in order to let Nancy progress as a person. And I mean, even with Nancy and Jonathan's relationship, it progressed even more so, like not just on the physical level, but they understood each other. The doctor, the conspiracy theorist, he's like, this is your problem and this is your problem. Y'all figure it out kind of thing. But Steve was a really good asset this season.
He was really good. Like,
and he helped Dustin. Like I feel like he really is gonna mentor Dustin into being what Dustin needs to be.
I would like to definitely see that moving forward, just because it was good. Like I know this sounds crazy, but I never thought that Nancy should have been with Steve. It just, to me, it was so annoying. Like, it just didn't make sense. Like, it's like, when she has a problem, she's gonna go to Jonathan. Like, it didn't make sense. So I was kind of annoyed. I remember that being the one thing at the end of the first season I was really annoyed of. Like
why y'all two back together?
Like, when they had, like, a little scene for, like, Christmas, and they were, like, together, I was like, why?
I was like, Nancy, you don't want to be your parents.
It's what I'm saying. That's what she talks about in the first season, like not wanting to be like her parents. It's like no shade to Steve, but Steve is going to be a dude of the town. Like he's gonna be that guy. Yeah. But I really, to his point, like I really, really did enjoy Steve's character. Like Steve got to really come into his own as a character. He had to be a much stronger character. Without taking anything away from Jonathan. Like it was like, okay, and I like the way the Duffy brothers, they told the story, was that we're able to keep this love story or whatever between Jonathan and Nancy, but still keep Steve very much in the mix. And I think it was really cool how it's like when things started going down with the kids, the older siblings were away, because they always are. Just like with season 1, when this was going down with the kids, Jonathan and Nancy are out here doing something else. It just so happened that Steve was like the person who was there. I thought that was really cool. So I really like his character now. And
it makes sense even with the reason why Steve and Dustin collect, because Dustin is dealing with his own insecurity complex when it comes to the relationship with Max. Like the Max girl, like both him and Lucas very much so like her. And this would be the first people they really like collectively. And so it's like, it's evident who Max is leaning more towards, but it's like defining that like he really needed Steve's help to guide him with that. And the character Max, actually, she did a really good job.
I liked her so much.
I feel bad because Eleven's always gonna give her shade because she kind of hit on, you know what I'm saying, her man for a second.
11's teenage girl, she's crazy. And you know what's so crazy about the Max character? So when we went to San Diego Comic-Con, they introduced, you know, some of the new characters, and she was one, and I was just like, I'm not into it.
And she was so quiet too.
And I think that's the thing. Like when she came in, like we really didn't get an understanding of what her character did. Like it was just like, okay, 11 is gone for now, so you just bring in this new girl for what? Like it was kind of like. So I kind of went in very skeptical of Max's character. But then, oh my goodness, I loved her character. Just because, like, she came in and was very, like, looked at them like they were, like, ridiculous.
Yeah,
like,
she did.
They were very ridiculous all the time. And, like, watching... And I think it helped us to understand Dustin's character and Lucas's character. Like, because you got to see them a little more because of what Max brought to the table. Yeah. And you also... And it also helped to show... how hurt Mike was because Mike hated her so much just because she was there. Yeah. So I think her character added so much, and I'm excited, especially now that she kind of knows everything that's happening. Like I'm interested in which we know there will be, but if there's a season 3, what that looks like to have Elle and Max and all of the boys, like. Seeing like that develop.
Like are they gonna really develop like a friendship? Because it's funny because Millie Bobby Brown, when we were at San Diego Comic Con, she's like, "This is my close friend." Like, she's a new kid. I was like, "This is total polar opposite when they're in the show." Because I was like, they do not get together at all.
So I think that they. It'll be interesting to see how those relationships develop. Yeah. So yeah.
But
it was good. I enjoyed it.
But we talked about basically all the different characters. Mike did a really good job. Like, I felt for Mike, because Mike was irritable for a whole 3 or 4 episodes because he was hurt. He lost the love of his life, and he didn't know whether she was alive or not. And I think they did a good job with that flashback of her going to the house and then going out and running, because it showed, like, this man went every single night for 350 days?
55, 52,
something like that, and calling that just made me understand like why he was so lashing out and stuff like that, and the parents didn't help.
And it's funny because this shows our relationship, because it's just like I was so annoyed. I'm
like I understand you, Mike. I feel you, dog.
Like stopping.
I would have been the same way.
He got on my nerves.
But
Dustin got on my nerves for a while too. I'm like, Dustin, kill the thing. Like
the little pollywog, but then. It's a good thing he didn't, cause that helped him out in the end. If he hadn't made that relationship with that little thing, it'd have been a whole different story in the end.
That's true. Product placement for Three Musketeers, because Three Musketeers was the true hero.
You okay?
I was just coughing.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were choking. But
Three Musketeers was the real hero. Everybody gonna get you a Three Musketeers, because you never know when you're gonna have a dimmed dog. That you need to give Three Musketeers.
Did you really just bring that in? Okay, I don't know.
Three Musketeers to save the world and protect you and your family from dimmy dogs.
Wow. You can mind that. Anyway, ninjas. To end this off, I think that from a scope standpoint. Oh Lord, you okay?
Yep.
To end this off from a scope standpoint, this was definitely broader. The story was even more immersive. This was definitely more suspenseful. I didn't know where the story was going to go at any episode. And from that standpoint, this was the perfect kind of production. They definitely put their money in the right places, but kept the characters true to what we perceived them to be. And for that, I got to say, this might be better than the first season. I was sitting there going back and forth like, the first season is so classic, but it was like they didn't lose a fold in the second season at all. And I just think that they did a really good job. I'm giving this a 10, but I just don't know whether or not this is considered better than the first one or not. It's as good as the first season. That's for sure to me.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's better.
The first season, I think, because I feel like for me, now, sorry guys, to me,
man, she's practically crying.
Nah, I'm sneezing. Come on now.
Sorry.
Get off me.
It's justice for superhero Bob.
Good night. Okay, I think to me, it's hard to compare them one to the other.
They are very different.
I think, and not even that they're very different. I think the writers did a really good job of blending them together. Like, it's like one ends and the other is like right there.
So for you, it feels like the same story.
Not even the same story. It's just I feel like. It's like a part 2. It's a good continuation of the story. Like you get to see where one stops. This is where the second one starts, and they fill in any holes you have about how they got there. So I think if you can't really put them like this one's better, this one's better. It's like no, it is one, like to me, cohesive story that is building. I would give it a 10 too, but I don't rate things. If I did, I mean, I would definitely. It's a really good build. Like I can't. To me now, it's all one story.
Yeah, and if for some reason y'all are still watching this, you haven't seen it, I'm sorry you got spoiled by anything that we said. But if you don't care about spoilers, you owe it to yourself to go and continue looking at the second season. It was very fun, really enjoyable, very suspenseful, very frightening at times, but very much so fun. And we really enjoyed it. So hopefully you enjoyed this review. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. L definitely ain't gonna stop. Talk to y'all later. Peace, guys.